Hey, what's up, guys? This is Crash and Foe from Shadow Team. We're going to do a quick gear video. Personally, my kit has totally changed since the last time I did a gear video. I think that was like 2019. So it's a little past due. We're gonna start. Yeah, right. We're gonna start with our rifles. You want to start first?
I'll go first.
Mine's gonna take a little longer.
So with mine, I have a lot of custom work in this gun. This is
I'll bring it closer.
6 years worth of tech experience and just, personal preference. We're gonna pull a grand thumb and we're gonna go tip to butt. So starting out with the tip, I am using for this particular video a lighter from Ace Tech that is set inside of a Noveske Flaming Pig amp. The Ace Tech lighters are phenomenal. If you want to use a tracer unit, I highly recommend them. Crash has one as well that's set up a little bit different.
I'll get into mine more when I start talking about my rifle.
They're not cheap. I paid $85 for mine. But you're mostly paying for the licensing from Noveske or whoever you happen to be picking up from. Moving down from that, I have a Streamlight HLX.
Yes.
Streamlight HLX, which I poached this off of my real AR to use at this op for the night portion. Comes with the pressure pad. The mounting system comes with everything you need for like $120, and for that 1000 lumen light, my go-to. Down from there, I have the PTS enhanced polymer backup sights. From there, I just picked up this canted mount, which I ended up not using, but it looks cool.
The original intent was for him to run a microthermal. That way he could rotate like this during the night game. Neither of us brought Allen keys, so that didn't end up not working.
I flew in, he drove in.
In a rental, so
yeah.
Space was limited.
Down from there, the optic I'm running is a Trinity Force 1x4 short dot, LPVO, however you want to call it. I've had this for a few years now. It's never done me wrong. At one point, I was using it on my real AR, but have since upgraded. I have a replica, possibly real, LaRue mount. It has all of the proper trademarks. I picked it up off a hop-up years ago. I don't know if it's real steel or what, but it works great, looks good, so why not? I have the PTS enhanced polymer stock that keeps on my batteries. The PTS grip. I think that's all the PTS finally. This gun internally.
What about the rail?
The rail? Oh yeah, the rail's PTS. The rail's a PTS Centurion licensed. I believe it's a 14.5 as well as my barrel, which is what gives you this nice flush look. Like the threads for this barrel just barely come out of the handguard.
Yeah.
Normally, if I'm not going to be doing any night play or a low light play, I have a Mad Bull licensed Furfrans, which is a blast shield. So it's got the really cool 3-chamber brake and the blast shield that clips on the front. Took me forever to get one of those, but the barrel, outer barrel, is a Mad Bull 14.5 government profile, and they are very high quality barrels. They don't bend easy. I think they run about $60. So if you're going to do a custom build, I recommend the Mad Bull outer barrels. They're really nice and give a fairly realistic weight. Lower receiver is lower receiver. I forgot to put the other upper on it. Lower receiver is a Spartan Industries. Yeah. 300 blackout license lower, so I can be that like Gucci, like, oh, I don't have a 5.56, I have a 300 blackout.
It's all 6 mil.
It's all 6 mil. But those are no longer made. Spartan Imports, that's who it was. They're no longer made, so this is kind of a collector's item. I really don't want to break this lower because it'll be forever before I can find another one. And then the upper receiver I also found on Hop Up, which is a Viking Tactics. If you know Vickers Tactical, that's his brand. Licensed. I have no idea licensed Noveski upper, apparently. I just noticed that. Like, so on this side, you have Viking Tactics.
It's been so long since you've played.
I know, right? On this side, it says Noveski. I picked that up off a hop up. Like, that just got nicer. And then the bolt cover says H&K because I posted it out of a 416. So this is my franking gun, essentially. I have a PTS Raptor from Radian. And then I have the Umbrella Edition Max Hop-Up, which are very, very nice. I really like the Max Hop-Ups. With a maple leaf bucking and a Prometheus inner barrel, 300 millimeter. So it's a little short of an inner barrel for this particular rifle, but like I say, I kind of poached it out of something else. So motor wise, I have an ASG 40K, and if there's any techs end up watching this, they're gonna bitch at me, but 13-to-1 ratio gears that I run a 45C discharge motor with. I have my Classy Raptor Tactical Blackbeard aluminum Cerakoted Ranger Eye, just to add a little cool factor to it. Retro Arms trigger, and the compression units in this are all Lonex except for the piston, which is an SHS lightweight 14.5 tooth piston with a Prometheus M110 spring, the stock VFC spring guide, and the stock VFC gearbox. And then the heart of this gun is one of the first run Gate Titan MOSFETs. So I picked that up and dropped it in there. This is the first gearbox I ever started working on, and it has lasted me through everything I have put it through, which is a lot of rounds. I'm pretty sure if I plugged in my gate control station, it would probably read somewhere upwards of around 200,000 just between test fire cycles and actual BB shot over the last 6 years that this all internally came together.
Had that for 6 years now?
I've actually had that 6 years now. I've been playing for 8, and I've been playing for 2 when I built this gearbox. So like this, to me, is my crowning achievement of builds, because not only has it internally lasted, but over the years of just playing both airsoft and experiencing real firearm setups with my ARs, this is the setup. It is perfectly balanced for me. Oh, slings and LBX, but that's a side part. Slings are a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
For me, this is the perfect balance of weight for my particular frame. It doesn't get heavy. I ran this, if you flip over to my channel, you'll see our recap from Operation Stonebreaker from TCA.
Which is, your channel is?
Foehammer Gaming currently, because I kind of fell out of airsoft, but it works. We just got back to the hotel today from our 2-day op at Stonebreaker. Mind you, we didn't play today, but we played all day yesterday, which rounded out to be about 8 hours. And I shot a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of gun up, get ready.
At one point had shot so much that I was like, no, you need to take a break. Go drink water.
Yeah.
I don't know how your motor didn't get hot.
Oh, it was hot. It was toasty. That was a toasty motor, yeah.
Speaking of motors.
It didn't get heavy, like it stayed, even with the optic, as chunky as that kind of is.
Like, I'm supporting that with my thumb. Like, that's very well balanced. It's all balanced right here in the magwell area.
Yeah.
Maybe a little on the back heavy.
But yeah, worked excellent. I had a similar style build when I went to Black Site years ago. Nowhere near the accessories, but like this was excellent.
Yeah.
So me, personal preference, this is my style of AR.
So moving over to me, mine's not going to be near as long-winded as his. So,
yeah, he said it was going to be longer.
Well, I've got more attachments to go through. I'm not going to go through the tech portion. The only thing I'll touch on is this is a GMP licensed Mark 18 that I picked up at ACS for sub $400. They have a Gate Aster. Foe here is running a Gate Titan, which is the higher end MOSFET.
It's their flagship MOSFET.
Yep. This is cheaper, a little more basic, not as technical. Very, very pleased with it. Up until last night when my motor died. MOSFET still turns on. I still get the light in here. No response for the motor, so I'm pretty sure I just straight up burnt it out. But I've ran this very, very hard for a stock gun.
Which, mind you, GMP motors are known to be kind of trash.
Yeah.
So
other than replacing it with the same stock Forrest's got here, the EPS, it's the only stock you should be running for airsoft. I can fit. I've fit 4 batteries in this thing before at an op.
From an AEG perspective.
Yes, AEG. This is the best AEG stock you can buy. If you're using HPA, it's got plenty of room for your FCU and your battery. If you're not running HPA and you just want a nice, comfortable stock, still get it.
Or if you're running mechanical HPA, it's still comfortable.
The only other modification that's been made to the gun itself from stock is this is not a Pro-In, this is a Dytac. They have taken over Pro-In. I was told by Airsoft Junkies. I never had a good experience with the Pro-Ins. This one has done very good for me. I shoot three 2s and 3 6s out of this, and he's watched me just thread BBs on
targets.
People. So other than that, the gun is bone stock. Nothing's been changed. Getting into his front end, standard rail. I run a Magpul sling hook here, and I'm running a LBX sling, same one he's running. Moving from there, you're gonna get to the pressure pad for my Streamlight ProTac as well. A little more used and abused than his, but I've had this thing for quite a while and it keeps on going. Running a Magpul RVG. They're really solid. If you don't want to spend the money on the real one, the PTS knockoff ones are great too.
Which, mind you, the PTS knockoff and the real steel Magpul, I think there's like an $8 price difference.
Yes. The only difference is these are a lot more solid. Like, you could not squeeze this thing if you wanted to. You'd have to put it into a vise to crush it. From there, my optic. You'll notice I've got no optic on here currently because I swap. During the day, I run this. This is Bushnell. Yeah, it's a Bushnell AR Optics. It's a first focal plane scope. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Oh, there it goes. So there's your reticle. And when I do that, it zooms it out. You can barely see the reticle in there. The reticle changes size as you zoom. So it acts more like a red dot on 1X than a zoomed out scope. I run a scope for airsoft because I've got bad eyesight, allows for target identification, all that. Yeah, I've run this thing on tons of airsoft guns, so a lot of people have seen it already. But I'm running it in a knockoff Geisley mount with a bubble level, which is pretty useful for airsoft, because if you do cant your gun, you will impart a different spin because of the hop up. You have a backspin on your BB. This is my daytime optic during the sun up sundown phase. As soon as it gets dark, I switch into this replica T1. The reason being is I can look through this with my nods, night vision, and it's called passive aiming. And that means I don't have to use my next attachment and give away my position to other people with night vision. With my next attachment being this is a D-ball I2. This is the 9007 model. This is all IR laser, IR illuminator. Actually, it might show up. And this is unloaded, by the way. Yeah, you can just barely see it kick on right there. So, now, him and I cannot see that. The camera can see that. That is for night vision use. Now, my last attachment and I just picked this up for this op, is the same guts tracer that he's running, the Ace-Tech lighter, but this is the Predator, which is a licensed Knights Armament CAC with a nice 3-prong QD flash hider. Get on. Yeah, right there, like that.
Which fits so nice and flush on
Yes.
that DD MK18 rail.
Which you put a different scope, or the T1 on here, is what a lot of Rangers and SF guys were running in the early Global War and terror setups. So that's part of why it's built this way. It's something that I was familiar with when I was in the military. Absolutely loved it. It's a little on the heavy side when it's all kitted out, just because there's a lot of crap on here. I could get away with just a light and a red dot and just be done, or just throw a red dot on it and deal with it. But everything's got a purpose on here. So that is my rifle. If you want something like that, hit up Preston at ACS Airsoft. If you want something like his, Preston.
Also hit up Preston at ACS Airsoft. You Preston just have to go through a lot of custom work.
Yeah, Preston does custom builds, which I might be hitting him up to get some work done on that because I fried the motor in it. You want to talk about your chest rig?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Our chest rigs, actually.
Side note, everything on this rifle is still available for purchase, minus the upper and lower receiver. Everything else you're looking at and on the inside, easy to find.
So,
alright.
I'll start and then you, because yours is attached.
Okay.
So we were actually both running the Haley D3CRM, which is the M stance should be modular and micro at the same time. We're both running M4 kit, and before anybody asks, these are PTS EPM 1s. These are 250 round mid caps, which we're both running. This section in here comes out, and you can replace them with an SMG insert or a larger insert for DMR or 308 or AK mags. It just allows for more flexibility. These are not knockoffs. These are not exactly cheap either. I paid $180 when I first got mine, and mine's a Gen 1. Mine, I think I've had mine for 4 or 5 years
4
now.
or 5 years, yeah.
Moving down from there, I'm running just a Krydex off of Amazon dangler pouch. It was $15, yeah. Krydex. And I originally had the Haley dangler, and it just wasn't big enough because I am a pyro whore. I went through $150 in pyro in all of 10 minutes first day of Black Site. Or not Black Site,
Stonebreaker.
Stonebreaker, thank you. Brain. So I throw me some pyro. Be able to do that, I need to be able to carry a bunch. So with this, I can fit 5 EG67s or the Tag 67s in here. So I've always got those on hand. I just unzip it, pull one out, and throw. Then something I was running that I don't care for and I will be removing is this one Tigris expander wing. We were running our radios in this, and it was terrible. It kept keying the radios out, so I do not recommend this for radios. It might work for another magazine, but
or smoke grenade,
or smoke grenade, but I do not recommend it for radio use. So that's my chest rig.
And then mine is also a non-knockoff, real Haley. So mine is the newest iteration. I just picked it up a few months ago. I haven't played in a while, haven't run it much. I used it for maybe a couple days worth of just go out to the range and do drills. However, ammo got expensive and I started working a lot, so I haven't been shooting or doing dry fire.
Just see what brain.
Mine has most of the same features. I believe the main difference is his little things here for the pistol mags will stretch out a lot further than mine, which might just be age.
And me just shoving really big things in there.
Anyway,
hey.
That's an innuendo of its own. But I'll get into a little more detail on mine. So you've got your zipper pouch here that acts as your admin pouch. You have straps.
Yeah.
A little closer.
Yeah, yours will show better on the camera than mine.
You have straps that are elastic that you can slide things in on. Velcro here if you want a Velcro pouch too. As you can see, Crash here has notepads, snacks, pens. What the fuck else you got in there?
Batteries. A compass.
Like,
yeah.
He's got a lot in his. I didn't have anything in mine just because I didn't have anything to run in it.
Yeah, real quick side note. If you don't know how to read a compass and a map at a milsim, you're in trouble. Because people will be calling out cardinal directions and you won't know which way to go. So get you a cheap little compass like this. Directionally challenged.
So anyway, as he said, M4 mag inserts with the PCS EPM1s. This op we just did was our first maiden voyage with these magazines. And then I have an Emerson dangler with tourniquets in it, which I picked up from ACS from Preston. I had it on my plate carrier at one point in time. I got rid of the plate carrier, threw it on the Haley. These are super comfortable rigs. I wore it all day at Stonebreaker and never once felt uncomfortable in it. It just clips together here. Mine, I have attached the patch, courtesy of Crash, the Haley 2.0 flat pack. And I just got this for this op. I wasn't sure how well I was going to like it. The answer to that is I absolutely love this thing. One, it's comfortable. Two, it held my water. 3 of the Enola Gay EG18s, which are the big boy smokes. Not the biggest boy, the
not
big
the
boy.
Mil-X.
Not the Mil-X, the step down. It held 3 of these in this front pouch. It held my Odin. It held a Mil-X on top of the water bladder, which was huge. All inside, and then compressed back down.
So
to where it was snug against everything.
This is its smallest form currently.
Yes.
It'll expand out to about
I'll just expand it.
Yeah, go ahead. Now I have the original Haley flat pack, and he's running the Gen 2 Plus.
No, just the flat pack 2.0.
So
So once you undo the zipper, there you go.
And the smaller pouch does that as well.
Yep. So what I did to load it was I undid the zippers like so. So you go from as small as it was to as big as it is. And then once I loaded it with everything, I compressed everything down as best I could and then just redid the zippers so that everything was tight. I didn't have, the bigger bag that will not do that. You have to fill the voids of space if you don't want everything to move around.
Yep.
This bag will collapse in on itself and keep everything nice and tight. That way you don't have all that weight jostling around. It just stays.
And the great thing about it being condensed and held in one spot is when it's not moving, it's not going to rub you raw in a spot. Like if your water shifts to one side of your bag, it'll create a weight disbalance, and you'll get a sore spot on this shoulder, but not this shoulder, or different spots in your lower back. Now, I ran a different pack, and we'll get into that in a second, but a generational difference that I've noticed, because I have the Gen 1 flat pack. They do not have this. Mine has a mesh field here.
Oh yeah, I have Molly. So
he could molly this directly to a plate carrier if he wanted. But we're just running chest rigs, lighter, faster, the best way it could be.
Shout out to Travis Haley and the crew over at Haley Strategic for making an excellent product. Go check out their website. This is not a sponsored plug at all. He got me into Haley, and the more I have learned and seen of Travis Haley, the more I admire the man. So if you're looking for excellent equipment, I highly recommend Haley.
Now, saying this, these are not cheap.
At all.
The flat pack was $180, right?
160.
160.
So you're looking at 160. I paid 160 for the chest rig because I got it on sale. I also paid 160 for the flat pack. Mind you, the chest rig does not come with an insert. You have to purchase that separately, which I did not know and ended up having to make 2 orders, but whatever. Also, I just remembered this. This is Velcro. So you can rip this off and directly Velcro it onto another plate carrier. And instead of purchasing pouches for your plate carrier that you have to molly on, you can just Velcro this and then go from there.
Yep.
And you can either, if you have money to spend and you have multiple weapon platforms, you could have one of each. You could have an M4 loadout, you could have a submachine gun loadout, which will fit. I've seen them. They advertise them as having an MPX mag, a PP19 Bitches magazine, an MP5 magazine,
Yep,
and one more.
MP7.
An MP7 magazine.
Yep.
So it will fit whatever PCC you're running.
Now,
You could have one of each.
Yep. I have the 7.62 inserts, the bigger ones. Now they're 2 individuals inserts that'll go in. And the nice thing about the M4, the AR and the 7.62 inserts is they have Kydex or tension that actually squeezes the mags, so you won't lose your mags. Like take it. So if you've been running some of the other smaller slip carriers that are just like an elastic, that elastic eventually will give out. Actually, I have over here, this is a Spiritus Microfight chest rig, which is another modular chest rig, but these are just elastic 5.56. They don't hold quite as well, in my opinion, as the Haley ones, because steal a magazine from somewhere. There's no like difficult to go in, but eventually it's going to lose that because it's elastic. It will stretch out eventually.
Just like your old pair of underwear.
Underwear and socks. That's why you got to replace them. So moving to my bag, I ran something totally different, which I will cover the contents of. This is a LBT 22 liter day pack in the oh so sexy multicam black and Ranger green combo. So I ran this as a sustainment pack. I ran combination of pyro, smoke, water, myodin, and a grenade launcher. It was very nice, heavy padded shoulder straps here. Yeah. Oh, like you said my name.
Straps.
So, and I have no fatigue in my shoulders. It rode well. It didn't bounce around. What saved it, because of how large it is, from being that way, are these 4 side cinch straps here. That I was able to cinch it down enough to so everything wouldn't move. Getting to the contents here. So inside of it, I have a whole ASG B&T license grenade launcher and running the tagging shells. So vehicles are a big thing at TCA Ops. It's always nice being able to shoot a grenade 100 yards at somebody. So, nice to have this along for the ride. Up in this upper pouch behind this oh so nice skull patch that I got from Preston, I had pyro. Originally in the first phase of Stonebreaker, I had my Reapers, which are the launchable grenades in here. And down here, I have smokes. These are the Mil X smokes that Forrest was talking about. These put out an insane amount of smoke. He actually did not use any of this op, surprisingly.
I never ran into a moment where I was like, I need cover.
Yeah, we only had one moment where I considered throwing one. But then there's interior pockets as well. Open this up all the way. So I have 2 mesh pockets in here that you can see. I have more smoke grenades here, and then down low I have another one that I left empty because my Odin and water sat down in this lower level that I just didn't want anything in there to get crushed. So LBT, I believe, is still doing, or no, they just had a sale. You missed out on a lot of really cool bags. LBT is London Bridge Tactical, by the way. Again, not sponsored.
London Bridge Trading.
Trading, thank you. Similar to LBX, the LBT are the US made, and the LBX is the Peru made stuff. But I've never, this is my first product I've owned from them. Not a sponsored statement, by the way. Thoroughly happy with it. It's very high quality. I look forward to running it more. I'm going to use it for hiking and stuff. But if you just need a good bag, look into them. Like, this is a good everyday bag, along with it just looking cool. So, let's see, we've covered primaries, chest rigs, or bags. Guess really
Helmets.
all we got left is helmets. So, yours is over here. Yeah, there's just random crap in it.
I had to cut stuff.
There you go.
Let me fight over this. Don't look.
You go first.
Mine's simple. This is actually so. I have not owned a helmet in a very long time. My good friend Nick from ACS sold me one for cheap. Actually, I think he traded it to me for something. I don't remember. But and it was just a cheap fast helmet, and I think I still have it in my old house in Illinois. I'm not 100% for sure, but Crash here just gave me this one because he picked up his new one that he will go over here in just a minute. So I have nothing on this. This is a PTS M-Tech Flux.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the licensed. Yeah.
Licensed replica, and I have a GoPro mount attached to it. And on top of that, I have a Unity Spark Deadlight. So it has 3 modes: low, high, strobe, and you got it off. Just keep that mounted up right there. Reach up, boop, dead. It has M-LOK segments here and a M-LOK segment here that also has a rail attachment already on it. You want that back?
No,
Okay.
I can't use it on this.
Fair. He had it kitted up basically the same way that you're going to see his. As I've said, I've always been a ball cap guy. I've never worn a helmet. This I did, however, wear at the op, and even though it was padded out on the inside to fit him, it fit me quite well. And actually did save my head from a pipe when we were holding a building. I'm surprised there's not, actually, yeah. So I raised up into a pipe that was angled like this and about yay long. I think it was a handle actually,
Yeah.
or a spigot or something. But I raised up out of cover and slammed my head full force with that on into that pipe. And I've been hurt if I hadn't had this on. So helmet will definitely be a working in close quarters environment. This will be a go-to.
Yeah, there's a very old Faded Giant video. Same AO, actually. Faded Giant is an old op that American Milsim used to run. One of the main guys for American Milsim is JP. He fell and damn near ripped his ear off.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, if he had a helmet on, that wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah, I do remember that. That turned into a major medical event for AMS and yeah.
So I don't like running a helmet all that often, but inside of buildings, especially industrial factories like we were just this weekend, and when I'm doing night vision stuff. So the whole reason I had a helmet was because I run a pair of DT NVS from Acton Black. This particular set I ordered from Steel Industries. They have the Photonis Echo 4G, which are a white phosphorus tube. So you're either going to hand hold your nods or you're going to buy a helmet. Those are your options. There are skull crusher type deals out, and I do plan on getting a Cry nightcap to try that out, but I'd rather have a helmet. So start with the helmet itself. I've already talked about the night vision. It's not much to be said about that. Going from there, this is a Team Windy LTP Xfil. Just running it for a day, I love it. It's the best helmet I've ever run. They've got a BOA system here. You push this down and you turn, and there are, you can't really see where they're at inside of here, inside this pad system, that will actually put side pressure like this, and that helps to stabilize the helmet, and it kind of grips your head a little bit and keeps it from moving around. Along with that, it's a dual layer pad system. All I had to do was remove one pad and it fit my head perfectly. This was $300. Now the cover that I have on it, I have no clue what brand it is. It cost me $20.
From a surplus guy.
From On The Go Surplus, which his wife is actually who made that patch that Forrest has.
Which Crash has one as well. That was a nice surprise for the end of the aisle.
So, and I ordered it yesterday evening and she had it ready by noon.
So shout out to those guys. Like On The Go Surplus, I purchased quite a few things. That GoPro mount, snagged that.
Both our pork chops.
The radio I had to purchase, I purchased from them. Our teammate Dan had forgotten his boots in Virginia.
No, at my girlfriend's house in Illinois.
Oh, so there you go. He left his in Illinois and we're in South Carolina. So he actually managed to find a nice pair of boots, brand new, never worn.
Belleville sand colored USGI issued combat boots.
Yeah, $60. Came with 4 free t-shirts. Yeah.
So moving from there, the helmet cover, God's Plaid, M81 Woodland.
God's Plaid.
If you get that reference. Brain fart. Okay, so this is a knockoff TNVC Mohawk that I have Velcroed on here with the bungees. This is a counterweight pouch. Back in here, I have some lead weights. These are actually from the Microbat Systems. You can find them on Instagram. They sell a lot of NVG stuff. With a heavier dual tube system like the NVSs, the DT NVSs, you're going to need a counterweight. It reduces strain on the neck, which can actually cause an injury, similar to a repetition injury, like some people.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Why's your wrist hurt then?
My wrist don't hurt, it's my legs.
From running away. So
I'm not French.
So on top, I also am running a Unity Deadlight, Velcroed underneath here, which I'll peel it up so you can kind of see it, if it will cooperate. That brown section there is a Microbat Tentacle, which is a clip with a metal clip hook, spring deal here, brain, that is hard connected to my night vision in case something like that were to happen.
Your nods aren't hitting the ground.
Exactly. Nods aren't cheap. Let's keep them attached to our helmets so they don't break. So
hashtag can't relate.
You will eventually.
Eventually.
Invest in nods. It's an investment, not a toy. Holding nods to the helmet. This is a Wilcox G24. Very common, very high quality mount. They are expensive.
Nods ain't cheap.
Nods ain't cheap. So, just the mount was $500. That D-ball that was on my rifle was $8. We're not going to talk about the nods. Again, these were from Acton. The housing system is from Acton Black. It's a DT NVS with white phosphor Photonis tubes. I got these from Steel Industries. If you're interested in nods and learning about them, look them up. Highly recommend. But yeah, no, like if you're in the need for a helmet and just want something that's really, really nice that you could use for rock climbing or airsoft, and you don't want to spend the $300 like I did, these PTS ones, these Intex Fluxes, they're 190 on Evike, which is, I got mine from Preston.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I got mine from ACS. And he'll take a pretty good hit. Like, I hit my head pretty hard a couple times, like that black one. Actually, I think that's the one you did there, that black mark.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Either way, like, I smacked my head pretty good. But I also ran my night vision on here, and it held up very well for quite a while. Up until a point where I was like, okay, I noticed some deficiencies that a real better helmet, I needed
Actually,
those.
Fact checkers, these are $120 helmets.
Really?
Yep.
They used to be more.
Airsoft Atlanta has them for $120.
There you go.
Because I was thinking that sounded a little bit much, but
So I did. I remember mine being 190.
Airsoft Extreme 130.
It was the newness. Everybody wanted them.
Yep.
So there you go. $120. It'll save your noodle. It'll save it.
Yeah, can speak from experience.
So now, do you have any gear that you wish you had with you for the op?
A better radio.
Better radio? Yeah. We covered that in your video.
Yeah, we covered that.
Which, if you want to hear our AAR of Stonebreaker, head over to Fohammer Gaming. A link will be provided to him and ACS at the bottom of it.
And then I'll have the flip-flop in my description of his, so whoever sees what first, you know where to go. These are not short videos. Mm-hmm. We recommend, if you don't want to watch us talk, throw it on as a podcast, because that's essentially the length we're doing. But no, really just better comms is what I wish that we had for this op, because with the setup I had, I was comfortable. I had pretty much everything I needed. I was never like, God, I wish I had this. Like, or if only I had bought that. Like, I did not have one of those moments at the op we went to, running the gear that I have run, except for night vision, which you'll hear me whine about in our recap of the op on my channel. But aside from that, I was well kitted. You?
Besides radio, better pair of iPro. I started running the day with a pair of ESS crossbows, with their gasket kit, which was insanely uncomfortable. I actually have bruises on my ears from them, which carried over into the later phases of the first day. And I was so uncomfortable that those times where like I had to like kind of just walk away and not think about it. So I need to get me a new pair of Oakleys or find a different solution, because the ESSs that I was trying did not work. So other than that, I was happy with what I was running.
That is one thing I did have an issue with as well, was I used the Oakley 3.0 frames, and they were very tight. TCA, Third Coast Airsoft, their ops require you to have a strap on your iPro.
Do you have your iPro handy?
Was it not on the top of the helmet?
It might have been. No, all of that shit fell out right here.
It might be over here. Alright, so for demonstration purposes, this is exactly what I was running. No modifications have been made. These are the Oakley 3.0 frames with the original Oakley lenses.
So I'm going to take
on the inside.
So this is, when I say gasket, this is what I mean.
Yeah, this is the Hilo kit
presses
from Oakley
against here and creates a full seal. Now, this is not a guarantee that a BB won't get to your eye, because I have a picture from ACS where a BB came in from just the right angle and squeezed in, and rolled around in
He
there.
was just kind of like this, and you hear ding, ding, ding. But they do drastically reduce the odds, which are already low due to these frames design, that you will
catch a BB in the
in the face and the eye.
So,
the strap is the Oakley brand strap, which is really nice. It's made to clip in at the
back of the
earpiece here. Yeah. And I paid $10 for this because it's got the little O on it, but I was in a hurry and that's what I found first. Helo kits are about $25. The actual frames and lenses, I think, run $170 for the clears. So it's by all means not cheap iPro.
But we've taken, if anybody remembers Jaeger, we took his sniper rifle from, what do you think, 20 feet?
Less.
And shot 0.5 gram BBs out of a 2.8 joule sniper rifle at a pair that I had stepped on, folded the lenses, and snapped back to shape. Shot it 4 times, and it never went through. So
it increased the crack in the fold.
No, it put a crack.
It put the crack in the fold, but it didn't go through. It
was an already damaged pair. I wore these for 7 years in the military. They're very good. They are worth the money. Your eyes cannot be replaced once they're lost.
That being said, the 3.0 frames on me have a history of cutting into my ears. Mind you, I got some Dumbo motherfucking ears. Pardon my French. They would cut into the top of my ears, and I had the same problem that Crash here had with his iPro. The strap increased that, so I ended up loosening it up, and it made it a little bit better, but by then I was already uncomfortable, so it hurt.
Yeah. I may actually run goggles next time. Like a goggle set.
I'll bring my 3. I have a pair of 2.0 frames as well that they are slightly longer and have rubber around the edges.
Those are way more.
So much more comfortable. Yeah. So if you can get a pair of Oakleys, I highly like. These are great. Don't get me wrong.
The 2s they discontinued. Yeah.
See if you can find a pair of 2s. Good luck on that hunt. eBay is your friend,
so
I'm sure.
He's got these are the APEL issued ones. So these are what actually get issued out to guys in the military. That is how he got these. I had a leftover pair. I gave them to him. Where are mine at? No, they're not the car. Anyway, I have a pair of Oakleys that I wear that are the new M1s. Much more comfortable. But I didn't have a retaining strap and I didn't have a gasket. That's why I couldn't wear them. So, look into good iPro, guys. Don't skimp on your iPro. If you only have a certain amount of money, hypothetical $500,
buy a $200 gun and $300 pair of goggles, or glasses, or what have you.
You can't play airsoft if you lose your eyes.
And on that note, we'll tell a quick story.
Story time.
The day that we tested his glasses with the sniper rifle, I took a guy's eye. We were playing mil-sim rules, semi-auto only, 400 FPS, and no engagement distance. He had cheap iPro.
It was the yellowish pair.
No, they were black. They were Oakley knockoffs is what they were.
No, they were the 3M safety glasses.
Were they?
The Z70 rated ones.
Okay. So
that you can buy at Walmart for a couple of dollars.
So he had a pair of tinted ones, and I came into a building, saw him just like quick engagement, fired 3 rounds, tucked into a corner. I heard him hit the floor, and I asked if he was okay, and all I got back was, "Oh shit," as a response. What had happened is I shot from my 404 FPS Redline N7.
Yeah, we re-chronoed after this, and it was 1.5 was the max for riflemen, or 1.55?
And I was at like 1.56.
Yeah, it chronoed a little hot.
So FPS wise, that's like 404.
Yeah.
But nothing that should shatter proper iPro. And that is exactly what happened. That 0.28 gram BB went through his glasses, and what had actually happened is the piece of the lens, a 7 millimeter piece, lacerated through his tear duct and around and was behind his eye, and it cost him his entire eye.
Yep.
So with that in mind, guys, always have proper eye pro. God gave you two for a reason, but you're not supposed to have to use your spare.
No, you cannot repair that kind of injury. There is no way. There's no money that can fix that. So, buy a good eye pro. Keep them on. All right, guys.
And call your hits.
Call your hits.